Hey, good morning, students. No video for you today. I look horrible in my face. I think I had an allergic reaction, so my face is all swelled up. But good morning, Monday, April 13th, not the 12th. I apologize about the slide. This whole new week is all new content. We're going to be talking about box and whisker plots. So hopefully you guys will actually watch this. Text all of your friends. I mean that. Like, actually text them and reach out and tell them this is stuff you have not seen before. It's really, really important for integrated math, data analysis, statistics. This really lays a lot of foundation for you. 7th grade math as well. Go ahead and let's do your bell ringer, warm your brains up. A lot of you haven't thought about math since Thursday or even earlier. So write your formulas, take out your notes, and begin from here. Welcome back. All right, here we go. Let's attack this thing. So find the area of the triangle. So you got base times height divided by 2. So you do 19 times 5 2/10 divided by 2. Up top, that gets you 98 800 tenths divided by 2, which is 49 4 tenths units squared. Remember, you're to the power of 2. Find the area. We do base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. So you do 28, because I added this and this, times 5 divided by 2. 28 times 5 gives you 140 divided by 2, which gives you 70 units squared. And then calculate the volume. Length times width times height. So you do 4 times 5, which is 20, and 20 times 8 is 160. Let's follow the order of operations. A lot of brackets, a lot of parentheses here, so it's a little bit different. You always have to start with the innermost bracket, innermost parentheses. 25 plus 5 is 30. Then you're going to rewrite, put the squared on there, minus 3 times 2, bracket, times 5, bracket. So if you do 30 squared, so 30 times 30 is 900. 900 minus 3 times 2, bracket 5. So 3 times 2 is 6, so 900 minus 6 times 5. 894 times 5. And you get 4,470. What's next one? 5 times 3 is 8. Sorry, I'm trying to pick up my energy levels. 32 minus 18 plus 10 to the power of 3, which is 1,000. Minus 100 is 900. 32 minus 18 is 14. 14 plus 900 is 914. 1/2 of a percent. So this is saying 1/2 of 1. So 1/2 of 1%, oops, would be 1/2 of 1 box. Be really, really careful. Don't make the mistake that I still just made. So you color line down 1 box, color in 1/2 of a percent. This is saying 1/2 of 1/100th. 1/100th. So the decimal would be 0.005. So the percent per 100 would be 0.005 of a percent. And the fraction would be 5 1/1000ths. Here's some reminders. So a few of you guys reached out, texted me, and called me last week and said that you like doing the Zoom, but you also want the opportunity to reach out one-to-one. So I sent out an Everett's last night with a new link for one-on-one calls. So if you want to do that, feel free to register. It won't be the same. Basically, just me checking in on you, asking you just how you're doing, what you've been up to. It won't be like the interview questions like last time. So if you want to do a one-on-one call, feel free to register. I think shout out to you, Gavin, Cole, and Max. So I'll see you guys later today. Second and third period, remember your Zoom call is Tuesday, April 14th at 11 a.m. Fourth period, Wednesday, April 15th, and sixth period, Thursday, April 16th, all at 11 a.m. See y'all then. This week's goals, we're going to learn what the 5-number summary is, how to create and interpret box and whisker plots, and describe the shape and spread of a graph. So this is where you really need to start paying attention here. This is called a box plot, or you'll also see it as a box and whisker plot. So if you don't have paper and pencil to write notes, go ahead and click pause on this video. Go get yourself some paper and pen. It's going to be a really short lesson because we're going to divide it over the entire week. Okay, so hopefully you have your paper notes. So what it says is box plots are separated into 4 different parts. Even though the parts may differ in length, each part contains only 25% of the data. Okay, so a box plot shows you a big range of data and how it's shaped based off of only 4 little parts. It's called the 5-number summary. So, a quartile, which you really need to know, if you can know the key word is, or the key root is core, Q-U-A-R, which you know a quarter is 25 cents, so 25%. So a quartile is 25% or 1/4. Okay? So what I want you to see now is here. Each box is 25%. Each part of the box is 25%. So from here to here is 25%. I'm going to use a different color now. From quartile 1 to the median is 25%. From the median to quartile 3 is 25%. And from quartile 3 to the upper extreme is 25%. We're going to talk about what all those different parts mean and how to find them through the course of the week. But what I need you to know is when interpreting this, each part is 25%. We're going to explore this some more. So this says, what is the range of tree ages that have been surveyed? What is the median age of a tree in a rainforest? So first, you see there are 4 quartiles. There's a median, and we're going to talk about something called the 5-number summary. So in this box and whisker plot, there's a couple things you can see right away. Okay? So the easiest way for you to take notes is probably to print this off of the Google Slides if you have that opportunity to have a printer. If you don't, then feel free to draw this real quick or sketch it or just basically watch if you want to. So this is what the minimum is called. So if you look right here, it's called the lower extremity, or you'll see it as the minimum. If you look at it, it is at 8. So the minimum 5-number summary is 8. Then if you look right here, this is quartile 1. And this is standing right at the 14. We'll talk about what that means here in a second. Your median is the line in the center of your box. That is saying the middle 50% of the ages is 21. So the median, or quartile 3 if you want to call it, is 21. Quartile 3 is at 33. And the upper extremity is 50. So that is the upper extremity, or also known as the maximum. This little chart right here is what we call our 5-number summary. It summarizes a bunch of different data points. So what this box is showing you is the quartiles, or how you can summarize a bunch of data. Do you think they only took 4 trees' ages and called it a day? No, this is just the big summary of it. The minimum was 8, the oldest tree was 50, the middle 50% was 21. So let's look at it graphically to see how we can determine how much each one is. So from here to here, 25% of the trees are from age 8 to 14. That's 25%. Hopefully this color coding is going to help you. Quartile 1, 25% of the trees are from age 14 to 21. Then 25% of the trees are from 21 to 33. And then 25% of the trees are from 33 to 50. Oops, that's not going to show up. 33 to 50. That's another 25%. So this breaks this up into 4 different chunks. Let's look at another example. The number of games won by the American Football Conference in a recent year is displayed below. Find the median and the measures of variability, then describe the data. So the first thing I want you to do is we're going to look at this using our 5-number summary. So for the AFC, what was the least amount of wins that they had? So the least amount of wins, or the lower extremity, or the minimum, is at the end of the graph. And that is called the lower extremity. That is 1. The minimum is 1. And then I'm going to put at the end of my 5-number summary the maximum, because that's the easiest. So what's the most amount of wins a team had? 13. Now, we're going to look at the other data points for our quartile 1. Looks like that was 5.5 wins. And then our median, or quartile 2, was 8.5 wins. So the middle 50% had 8.5. And then quartile 3 was right at 11. So this is, again, our 5-number summary. How can we show the data? All right. Now, so the median, to answer the question, the median is 8.5 wins. And then now let's talk about the percent of each graph, each part of the graph. So let me try to find a different color. Let's do purple. So from 1 to 5.5, that's 25% of the data. So for 25% of the data, the first 25% of the data, 1 to 5.5 wins. 25% of the teams in the AFC had 1 to 5.5 wins. Okay? Then let's say 25% of the teams had 5.5 wins to 8.5 wins. So 25% had from 5.5 wins to 8.5 wins. Then 25% of the teams went from 8.5 wins to 11. And then 25% of the team went from, trying to choose a color, I'm sorry, from 11 to 13 wins. So if you guys notice, you're like, wait, I'm really confused. All of the intervals aren't the same like you just told us from last Monday and Tuesday. Well, they don't have to be, because it all depends on the data. For this, it's just trying to summarize the data, meaning, say you read a 300-page book. Is your essay about that book going to be 300 pages long? No. So it's exactly with this data set. If you have 300 data points, you're going to summarize it using your 5-number summary in order to show where does most of the data lie. Alright, so this has no context to it whatsoever, but we can figure out what the context is just by looking at the title and then using our 5-number summary. So it says the average gas mileage for various sedans. So those are like Honda Civics, Toyota Camrys, like those type of cars, 4-door regular cars. So the average gas mileage for various sedans. We know that the lowest average for some sedans is going to be right here. The minimum is 22. The max that I put at the bottom is 40. The quintile 1 is 25. And quartile, the median, or quartile 2, is what I'm used to saying, is 27. And the quartile 3 is 33. Again, this is our 5-number summary. And I'm going to show you, continuing to show you our different colors of the percentages. So from 25% of the cars are have 22 to 25 miles per hour. That's 25%. Not miles per hour, but miles per gallon. Then we have from 25 to 27 is another 25%. From 27 to 33 is another 25% of cars. And then from 33 to 41 is another 25% of cars. So if I were to ask you a question saying, what percentage of cars have more than 27 miles per gallon average, you would be able to say 50% of the average, 50% of the sedans. Okay? So, hopefully this helps you learn a little bit. Let's keep on chugging along. The amount of calories for a serving of certain fruits are displayed. Find the median and measures of variability. We're going to ignore this point right here. That's sort of a higher level age statistics, and I don't know why that's in our curriculum. Okay, so first one, the number of calories, we can't really see it. We know that the interval is like 50 from the bottom, but so we're going to have to guesstimate. So the minimum is 25. The max is 200. Quartile 1 is, let's say, oh, that's not 50. Let's say 45. The median, or the middle 50, is, say, 70. Again, we're just guesstimating. And quartile 3 is right around probably 140. Again, this is our 5-number summary. So 25% of the certain fruits that were selected are from our minimum to quartile 1, so 21 to 45. That's 25%. So from here to here, that little bit. And then from 50 to our median, which we said was 70, is another 25%. And then from our median to our quartile 3, from 70 to 140, it's another 25% of the data. And then we have from 140, quartile 3 to 200 is another 25%. That is your breakdown for how to interpret and analyze this box and whisker chart. So remember, do they only do 4 fruits? No, they could have done hundreds of different types of fruits, but the summary of this data is broken into 5 key numbers. Last one, number of model airplanes owned. So this is where they probably surveyed a bunch of different people and just asked them. Maybe they went to a convention of model airplanes and said, how many model airplanes do you own? And this is what the summary of the data said. So the minimum is, I don't know what's happening, 6. Our maximum is 27. Our first quartile, or Q1, is, let's say 10. Our median is 11. Our quartile 3 is 16. Why does this chart keep going away? Okay, so that's our 5-number summary. And then we can look at our in terms of 25% to 25%. So 25% of the people owned 6 to 10 airplanes. That was 25% of all the data surveyed. 25% of the people owned 10 to 11. That's a lot of airplanes for these people. Couldn't be me. And then 25% of the people owned from 12 to 16. And then 25% of the people surveyed owned 16 to 27, or max. Cool, so I really want you to practice interpreting these box plots on your own, or they're also called box and whisker. So check my website for the link to the documents. Hope you guys have a good day. We're going to explore this all week, so if you're completely lost today, re-watch some of those explanations. Just remember, box and whisker summarizes data into four points called quartiles, and we're going to talk about how do you find those quartiles based off a data set and make them later on this week.